Okay, fantastic. Welcome to the Pearl and the Echo podcast. I'm Jim, this is Dori. We really hope you're well, and we really hope that you're enjoying these snippets, these little sessions for your day. So we're going to start like we always do with 3 deep breaths, and then Dori is going to go into a really, really nice quote. So in your own time, if you would like to close your eyes, and if you can close your eyes, feel free to do so. Slow everything down for a minute. Let yourself be present. Just come back here for this bit of time before you then rush off into your day or into your mind again. And 3 soft, slow, deep breaths. And the last big one. Okay, there you go. Dori, go for it.
All right. So the quote today is about the bamboo and the fern. So the bamboo had a different purpose from the fern, yet they both make the forest beautiful. So I'm going to read a story about this because it really captures what this quote is all about. One day, a man decided to quit, and we can say a person decided to quit. They quit their job, their relationship, their spirituality, and they wanted to quit everything. So this person went into the woods and they came across a wise sage. They asked for one good reason why they shouldn't quit, and the sage said, "Look around. Do you see the fern and the bamboo?" And the person said, "Yes. When I planted the fern and the bamboo seeds, I took very good care of them. I gave them light, I gave them water," said the sage. "The fern quickly grew from the earth. Its brilliant green covered the floor, yet nothing came from the bamboo seed. But I did not quit on the bamboo. In the second year, the fern grew more vibrant and plentiful, and again, nothing came from the bamboo seed. But I did not quit on the bamboo." The sage said, "In the third year, there was still nothing from the bamboo seed, but I would not quit. In the fourth year, again, nothing from the bamboo seed. I would not quit." The sage said, "Then in the fifth year, a tiny sprout emerged from the earth. Compared to the fern, it was seemingly small and insignificant. But 6 months later, the bamboo rose to over 100 feet tall. It had spent the 5 years growing roots. Those roots made it strong and gave it what it needed to survive. I would not give any of my creations a challenge that they cannot handle." And then the sage said, "Did you know that all this time you have been struggling, you have actually been growing roots? I would not quit on the bamboo, and I will never quit on you. Do not compare yourself to others." Again, the quote right here, "The bamboo had a different purpose from the fern, yet they both make the forest beautiful. Your time will come, you too will rise." So it's a full fable. There's no author of this quote, but I came across it. And for me, the first time I heard this quote was from one of my teachers, Javasu, in Canada here. And he said, a tree does not compare itself to a tree. And it really resonated with me at the time. And so this is just the next iteration of that. These two very different plants in the forest, really symbolic in a lot of ways. Bamboo, all about strength, flexibility, resilience. I always say love is like bamboo. It can bend, but it does not break. And so it's all about adaptability. And then ferns are these, old ancient plants that are really just magical and beautiful. A lot of folklore around ferns in the forest and walking around. So for me, it's so human to compare everything. We do it all the time. I feel like social media is how it started, perhaps, when it first became a thing that we were all starting to get addicted to, and everyone was posting their highlight reels, and a lot of people still just post their highlight reels. It's not a full representation of their life. And when you look at that all the time, it can become very easy to be jaded about your life. Oh, like I'm not, on this tropical vacation. I don't have this car, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, personally, I used to care about those things. I don't really care about those things anymore. But it's so easy to fall into that mindset because in Western capitalism, we're forced into competing with each other. And what better way to make people compete with each other than to have them share their lives in this highlight reel. I'm seeing a change on social media where there's a lot of experts providing advice about psychology and meditation and things like that. There's a lot of artists putting out their work. So it's evolved from the highlight reel. It's evolved from the look at my lunch. I mean, there's still tons of that there, but if you curate your experience, you can kind of land in a little bit of a better place. But we do it all the time in real life too, right? We compare ourselves to our family members, to our friends, our colleagues, and it's completely nonsensical because you don't know where any of those people started from, and they don't know where you started from, and all the wrong turns that you made in your life that led you to this point. And so the fable is so beautiful because there's a really like a don't give up resilience in their message, but don't give up because this is your journey. No one else is on your journey, and so why are we comparing our journeys together? I mean, do it if it's helpful. If it's like, oh yes, I went through this horrible thing. Oh, you too. Like, how did you deal with it? Great. It's like, let's do that, but not like, oh, look at your fancy new car. Like, I have to take the bus. Like, that's not helpful. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, there's just so many ways of taking this one. I like the kind of the diversity, not superficial, but the diversity layer of we are all different. And some of us know what we want to do in our life when we're 5 years old, and others it takes us until we're 40. And I was talking to one of my nephews the other day who's just going to university and of course has an idea about life but doesn't know what will happen next. Will he have one job or 20 jobs? Will he carry on in the same sector or try lots of different things? And in hindsight, because I'm 52 this year, I can go, well, actually, you'll be fine. Me, I had loads of jobs and life has been incredible. But the fern, you see the fern as actually quite a fragile. Here in Spain, that they come out in spring and then everything gets so hot here that everything just dies in summer, so that you only see ferns for a few months and then they're gone. But that doesn't mean they died. It just means they'll come back next year. They keep coming back time after time. But bamboo is just ravaging. You plant a bit of bamboo and it's covered the whole area in a few years once it's actually taken root.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really like the story because the story's going much deeper and it's saying, well, we're all different and I'm gay or this person is straight or this person is bi or trans or all of the differences, and I'm this color and you're that color and I'm male and you're female, or the different pronouns here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all from different countries, and it's like trees. And isn't it the truth that when there's a forest fire, what humans do is we go and plant loads of the same tree at a specific distance, kind of equidistant apart from all the other ones we've planted, so that all the trees grow again, and then we've got a forest again and it's all right and everything's wonderful. But having a forest like that is it's not a sustainable system. Forests need to be diverse. They need to have lots of different kinds of trees and plants and bushes and all this kind of things in them, because if they're all the same, they're very weak. And I like that I get to be different, and I like that each person is different. We kind of all want everyone to be the same because we call it society, right? So we're all humans, but actually some of us are incredibly sensitive, some of us don't give a damn, and everything in between. And it just makes for a much more interesting life or way of living. I think if we're all the same, what it makes me feel is it's kind of easy and therefore boring. But if we're all different, well, then you've got to do the work. You've got to kind of learn about other people and learn how other people's minds work. What's the thing? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I read that when I was in my 20s. I can't really remember anything about it. I'll probably need to go back and read it again. But we're all so different. You could just say, well, a woman, for example, is like this, or a man is like this. But they're not. There's so much richness to each individual.
Mm-hmm.
Many people don't care about that and just want everyone to be the same so they can just have life easy. But I like how everyone is different, because then I get to explore people in a different way.
Yeah. It's what makes life interesting. and difficult at times, right? Because you're not always going to agree with everyone. It's interesting to see how all of these identities that you mentioned and how people live out those identities can really put us in these spaces of community, which can be really beautiful. But you can also enter this chamber space where you're just getting your perspective mirrored across all of these people who are so much like you. And that's not always helpful either. The identity pieces, when you were talking about sexual orientation and gender identity, for me, that's been a whole journey for
Mm.
my whole life. And as a gender fluid, non-binary identifying person, there's been moments where I really struggled with pronouns or things like that. And I remember this one time where I just kind of freaked out at one of my close friends about it, and they called me out on it, which was really good. This is why we keep friends like that in our lives. And it was really helpful because it's such a disorienting experience to go through something like that, but then to stay grounded in it and to make sure that you're bringing people along with you when you're figuring out who you are. I mean, you can say that about other parts of one's identity too. And for me, what really shifted was I saw this incredible documentary about a poet. Their name is Andrea Gibson, and they're this non-binary queer poet, rock star. And the documentary is called Come See Me in the Good Light. I highly, highly recommend everyone to watch it, but bring Kleenex and like be prepared to be fully destroyed and built back up within the span of that documentary. And they go through a cancer diagnosis and all of that. And they said, I used to care about my pronouns, but now that I'm fighting for my life, they're like, I don't care. Call me whatever you want. Like, we are here for such a brief moment on this earth. I don't care what you call me anymore, you know?
Mm.
And so that's how I feel about it now. I don't care what pronouns you use. You know, just call me Dori, like, be respectful.
Yeah.
And I totally understand for some people it's a really important thing to use the proper pronouns, and I think we need to respect that also. But it's work. All of this takes work and time, like figuring out what is it that I need from the people around me, what is it that I need for myself, and what is my unique purpose, contribution, thing that I'm here to do. Some of us know as children, but then we forget, right? We forget because society says, well, you can't make money being an artist or a
Mhm.
writer or a healer or whatever. And so
Sure.
we veer off the path for years, decades. And then if we're lucky, someone brings us back, or we come across a person that's like, hey, what about this whole world over here that you're supposed to be part of?
Yeah. And also the bamboo creates its own mini ecosystem, I'm sure, of very specific kind of creatures and creepy crawlies and insects and animals like being around bamboo and what it does for that piece of earth or piece of land or piece of ground, just like the fern creates its own ecosystem. And isn't it about how whether or not I allow myself to be what I am? Will I allow myself to be this thing? And for example, maybe pronouns and how people address me, that's a really important aspect of who I am and what I need in this life. But do I allow myself to do it my way? Can I be the fern? Instead of forever asking, is it okay if I do this? Or can I fit in here, please? Is it all right if I do this? No. I'm this. I'm the fern. It's beautiful. It's delicate. It's however I define myself, because when I allow myself to be who I am, well then I can start refining it and refining it and then have fun and enjoy what it is to be me, instead of forever complaining about the fact that everyone else gets to be themselves and I don't. Well, I'll be me. Let's see what it's like. Maybe it's terrible. Maybe it's an absolute disaster. Maybe it's incredible. Maybe I'm get to be the happiest person ever because I decided I'm the bamboo or I'm the oak tree or I'm the lotus flower. Yeah.
Yeah. And what amazes me too about that lifelong journey that we take is that I don't think anyone has it figured out, even into their 80s, 90s. I remember listening to a podcast. It was a Nobel Prize winning individual that was being interviewed. And the question was, what do you wish you truly understood? And, they have a Nobel Prize and they're in their 80s and they're like, I wish I understood myself. And my reaction was like, oh no, we are in so much trouble. If this Nobel Prize winning individual at
Yeah.
80 years old still has not figured out themselves, then we are just not going to figure it out. There is no end point to this task. It will be a mystery that continues to unfold until we die and
Yeah.
beyond, probably too.
Yeah. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my daughter in the car earlier. She's 17, and we have a song that kind of I was listening to when she was born, and it's our song. And every time it comes on the whatever we're listening to in playlist, we hold hands and we kind of cry a bit because it's such a beautiful song. And I'm sure we've had a conversation where I've said something like, "Well, when I die, play that." Because it will make her all sad and think of me, and won't that be wonderful and sentimental? And today we were in the car and we were listening to a song called "The Hustle." It's like this 1970s
Oh yeah,
ridiculously
do the
happy.
hustle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of disco flute song that's joyful. And I said, and I was like, actually, no, when I die, just play that, because that'll mean that I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I had a real laugh. I had loads of fun doing it, and we had a laugh, because you can be really sentimental, but no one's got a clue. No one
Yeah,
really knows. And I've spoken to people in their 80s who say, yeah, I'm still working it out. I still don't have a
yeah,
clue. And they're still deciding if they're a bamboo or a fern or whatever the thing is.
yeah.
So why not just do the hustle?
I love that so much. I haven't been doing enough of this lately, but maybe about a month ago, I found myself in this just kind of embarrassing situation that I'm not going to get into the details of. But I was so embarrassed in the moment, and then I was like, all right, we can be super embarrassed right now. We can run away, like we can just leave and be embarrassed. And then I was like, but is it funny though? Like, is this hilarious, the fact that this happened in this way? And it was, and it is. And so I was like, it's pretty funny. Like, yes, it's embarrassing, but also so hilarious.
Yeah.
And so it's a reframe, right? Like, it's going back to what we keep saying about you have 3,000 options in any given moment.
Yeah.
And so the obvious option is the way we were all conditioned to think and feel. And then there's all these other options that
Yeah.
we're just trying to tap into with this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're a fern, then your job is to work out what it's like being a fern, and not pretend to be something else, or listen to the bamboo as if the bamboo's got the right answer. No one's got the right answer. So you're a fern, so just do that. And if the bamboo doesn't like it, the bamboo doesn't like it, but somebody will. Yeah, give us the quote one more time, please, Dori. That was fantastic.
The bamboo had a different purpose from the fern, yet they both make the forest beautiful, just like all of our listeners. So feel free to sit with this one. If you Google the quote, you'll see kind of the fable come up. So if you want to read the full fable again, go for it and tell us what you think. Are you a bamboo or a fern or something else? I like the lotus one. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, please do. Yes. Leave us a comment of what you are. That would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Pick a plant.
Okay.
Favorite plant.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to reach out to us, subscribe, comment wherever you're listening to or watching this. And we hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Pearl and the Echo podcast with me, Dori Sim, and my co-host, Jim Rajan. Thank you to Rebel Mixtape Productions for editing this episode. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, and share with those in your life that matter most.
All right. I'm going to read the quote, but first I'm going to let my dog into this room because I can hear the scratching.
Yeah, I heard the scratching in the breaths.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Anyways, our producer here, she wanted to see what's going on. We could cut that out, or we'll have a fun dog blooper. It's always Always a
Yeah,
dog.
or leave it in. I like leaving it in.